is perception?
मिस जो हमारा माइंड इंटरप्रेट करता है कोई भी जो हम देखते हैं, कोई भी चीज या जो भी हमें कोई भी चीज जो ग्रैब करते हैं, वो उसको जो माइंड हमारा इंटरप्रेट करता है उसको परसेप्शन कहते हैं.
Exactly. What is the difference between sensation and perception? Sensation is actually when we are sending message to our brain. Our senses are detecting that and sending messages to our brain. And where perception comes, perception is there to interpret that message, to perform an action. So the way we perceive actually is called as perception. Every individual has different kind of perception and have different eyes. जिस तरह से हम बोलते हैं, beauty lies in the eyes of a person. So what does that mean? That means because the way that individual perceives is different than the other. So definition of perception is the process through which people take raw sensations from the environment and interpret them using knowledge, experience, and understanding of the world so that the sensation become meaningful experiences. Individual is taking the raw sensation from their environment and interpret them. For example, they are having the previous background of anything, like I am showing you a picture of a circle and I say, what is this? What you perceive? So you will say that it's a circle. So why you will perceive and why you will say that it is a circle? Because it will be based on your previous knowledge and experience and understanding that you have seen that this is a circle and you have learned it. So you use your previous knowledge and understanding to give a meaning to that thing or meaningful experience you make that. Okay. So what are the factors that affects our perception? There are a few factors like motivation affects our perception, expectations, emotion, culture, and past experiences. Now we will see one by one that how these factors are affecting our perception. First one is motivation. The influence of motivation is the extent of our motivation will affect the speed and way in which we perceive the world. For example, food products will seem to be brighter in color when you are hungry, because if you are hungry, you are feeling hungry and you want to eat something, you will see that food item and the color will become brighter to you. Or if you are attending a class and you are sitting in class but you are hungry and you are having the smell of coffee or biryani, so you will feel more motivated towards that and you will perceive effectively that yes, I am hungry and I want that. But as there will be other students along with you as well, so maybe some student is not hungry and that individual will not perceive to as a stronger, that will not sense that smell as strongly as you will sense, like because you will be hungry. So our motivation definitely affects or influence. Okay. Next is influence of expectations. What we see is at least to some extent influenced by what we expect to see. Expectations can be useful because it allows the perceiver to focus their attention on a particular aspects of the incoming sensory stimulation. However, it can distort perceptions too. For example, expectations. If you are coming late to the university and somebody is administration is asking you that you came late, you were expecting that I am getting late and my boss or my university administration will become angry on me. So you are expecting that if an individual is just asking you formally that why you are late, you will become offended maybe, or you will think that yes, that individual is angry on me, or I am because I am late. So that expectation you are having, that you will perceive the things similarly as like that. For example, if somebody is coming, your friend is coming to you and that friend is having a fight at home or in the morning, or that your friend was facing the heavy traffic on the road, and when you are coming or you are confronting to that individual, you expect that my friend will talk to me in a friendly manner, but that individual was having some kind of previous tough background, so maybe that individual cannot talk to you friendly in a friendly manner, so you can perceive that that individual is not talking because of me, or because I have made some kind of mistake, or he is having some issues with me. So that thing, that is your expectation. The way you expect from others, you perceive that in a similar way. If you are having a good mood and you expect that I will talk to an individual with a happy mood, that individual will talk with me in a happy mood back. So that depends all on your expectations. Okay, how you perceive depends on your expectations. For example, we may fail to notice printing errors or writing errors because we are expecting to see particular words or letters. Okay, for example, that Paris in the spring. So in this, you are just like, you are not noticing the printing error, that the word letter T is capital in between the paragraph, or your whole context is in capital letters. So you will not, maybe sometimes you will ignore that, but you will focus on the context what you have given. Or maybe sometimes you will ignore the writing or what is written inside. You will focus on that is just, that should be written in a triangular form. So that kind of perception, that how you perceive, because you were expecting that I want this format in which I have to write my assignment, or I need to take my printout, or you are printing in that manner. Okay, so this is the way how we expect, we perceive in a similar manner. After that, the influence of emotions comes. Emotions affect our perception on a physiological manner. Physiologically, our current emotion could affect our perception by alternating how the information is taken in. We find people with squeaky voices who speak very rapidly as extremely annoying if we are tired, but if we are in a good or we probably would not find them annoying. For example, if we are in a good mood and somebody is asking to us something rubbish, or taunting us, or passing some kind of comment on us, maybe we will not mind that. But if we are having a bad mood, so we will be noticing a small and minor things, and we will become oversensitive. So that depends on our emotions. Like, for example, I'm not in a bad mood, everyone is just annoying. So if you are saying this, that I'm not in a bad mood, everyone is just annoying. So actually what is going on, your emotions are not like at that time not positive. Your physiological changes are going on, and your emotions are having negative emotions. So you will say that yes, because the way how you are feeling, that affects your perceptions actually. You are getting what I'm saying? If there will be any question, you can ask anytime. Okay, then the influence of culture. Culture plays a major role in how we view the world and how we take in the things around us. You can ask. Okay, influence of culture, how culture affects our perception. Culture plays a major role in how we view the world, as how we take in the things around us. For example, red color. Red color is having different meanings in different cultures. In Russia, red color is the symbol of revolution or a change. In China, brides wear red and it is considered as a good luck color. To most Russians, red means happiness and prosperity. In India, red is a symbol of life-giving purity. In the Middle East, the color symbolism of red is danger and evil. So like this, the culture is there. Because of culture, how we are taking things into our culture, we perceive accordingly. Okay. So after this comes that how influence of our past experiences. Past experiences can also affect perception, because those experiences were being stored in the mind of an individual. Like, for example, if you are experiencing that you are buying something or some toy from some shop, or any kind of pen or anything, and you are not checking that, but when you come back to home, then you use that, you think, oh, that your pen is not working, you say, oh my god, I got that pen, but my pen is not working. So next time when you will go to that shop, you will avoid purchasing pen because of your past experience. And so you made your perception accordingly, that if I will buy that pen from that shop, that will not be working. And if you buy a fruit or you go to take any kind of dress or shopping, so if any item you are buying or you are having, when you are coming back, that item is having some kind of fault in that, you will be having this mind, you will make your mind and you will adopt this experience that this shop is not good because I have taken this thing that or that dress that was not durable. So you make your perceptions according to your experiences which you are going through. So these are the major factors of or factors which are affecting our perceptions. Like we have discussed motivation or expectations, how we expect from others, and or influence of emotions, and influence of culture, influence of past experiences. These all are affecting our perception. After that, we are coming here, perception and communication. Perception and communication are related, as perception is a necessary step towards the process of communication. How you are going to communicate, that matters. Because of your perception, you choose the way of communication. This process of perception and communication is twofold. Okay, a person first communicate with him or herself based on the way he or she perceives the sensory data from the different senses through a process known as intrapersonal communication. For example, you are having some kind of communication, or like what you are perceiving actually is based on your experiences or all the factors you have studied. So how you will communicate that, because of your perception you have made. So perception and communication are interrelated. These are, you can say, they are having interpersonal communication between each other also. Like you are going to communicate in a manner way you are perceiving. So you perceive how you perceive, similarly how you communicate. If you are perceiving negative, you will be communicating negative. If you are perceiving something positive, you will be communicating definitely in a positive manner. So types of perception. There are different types of perception. First one is color perception. Color perception, on the other hand, describes the way the visual senses. You are going to use your visual senses, denoting the eyes, observe, use, and contextualize them in the environment. So that is your color perception, how you use your eyes and to discriminate between the colors, and to discriminate between the objects and everything you are watching around. By your eyes, you can discriminate them on the basis of their colors. So you can easily perceive that this is the because of the item's color, I can identify. For example, in the diagram showing here, this is a combination of colors, and in which you can write, there is a written number over there, which is 4 and 2, 42. Okay, so this is the color which is a little brighter in a reddish color, you can easily, or pinkish color, you can easily identify. So this is a color perception in which you perceive the way you are having like past experiences. Okay, after that, speech perception comes. The other types of perception in psychology include those that interpret verbal output. Speech perceptions, for one, helps in not only understanding one another, but deducting or deducing meaning from mere sound. For example, if somebody is talking to you in a louder voice, or that individual's pitch is sharp and loud, you will be feeling offended and you will not feel good. But if somebody is talking to you in a soft tone, you will be feeling good. For example, in our class, there is a student, Michelle, who talks very softly. So all of you like the way she talks, and you, when she presents you, all of you likes a lot. So what is the reason? Because you perceive their her sound a different context, like she is so softer and that sound is soothing to your eyes. So this is the way you perceive the speech perception. Like you can easily identify the speech context, either the sound is offending, or this is bossy sound, or this is soft sound, or this is cooperative sound. Somebody is asking me or seeking help from you, and what kind of sound or speech that individual individual is using. First of all, you perceive by the pitch of the speech and context of the thing. After that, you will notice the context, what kind of speech or talk that individual is going to have with you. So that context matters. If that context is suitable, or what kind of that context, you give meaning to accordingly to that perception, or to that speech according to your perception, or you will give a meaning to your communication, that either this communication was suitable or this communication was not suitable, or you like it or you are not liking it because of your speech perception. Okay, after that, depth perception comes. Depth perception also acts as one of the types of perception psychology. It is the visual ability to judge the relative distance of objects and the spatial relationships objects at different distances. For example, in your class, if there are different objects which are placed at different spaces, you can easily identify and how you will give meaning to that perception. We will be later studying this in another, it is a broader topic actually, in depth perception, which you will study the monocular cues and binocular cues. We will discuss it in detail later on. Okay, so depth perception basically is, you should have a little concept about it right now, that it is a perception in which you give a meaning to an object due to its distancing. Okay, for example, in class, the student sitting in the lie at the back side, or at our a student is a backbencher. So from the place where teacher is standing, how that teacher is viewing that individual is viewing like he is sitting afar away, but the individual or the student who is sitting in the first row, that is more closer to the teacher. So that kind of relevance you make, okay, between the objects and between the things. We will be discussing it later. Okay, now Gestalt principles of grouping. This is a Gestalt theory, actually, you can say, what Gestalt says. A group of influential German psychologists, among them Max Wertheimer, Kurt Kofka, and Wolfgang Kohler, they theorized that we perceive figures and forms as whole patterns that are more than simple sum of individual sensations. Here, these Gestalt psychologists says that we perceive the figures or objects as whole instead of their sum of individual sensation or some parts. We are going to see how. For example, figure ground perception. Gestalt principle describes the brain's organization of sensory building blocks into meaningful units. As our brain is structured, our brain organizes these small building blocks and give a meaningful meaning or unit or a pattern collectively. Okay. Here are few Gestalt principles we are going to study. First one is proximity. Things closer to one another are grouped together. For example, these are small dots you can watch on in front of you, in front of your screen. So how you will say? You will say these are, this is one dot, this is two dot. No, you will consider that this is a row, or rows and columns you can see in in blue color in front of you. So things closer to one another are grouped together. So you will perceive that this is a line, or this is a row, or this is a column, this is a group of dots like this. Okay, so proximity is when things are closer to one another, you study as you grouped them together. Okay, what is closure? The brain tends to fill in gaps to perceive complete forms. For example, there are three figures you are watching in front of your screen. One is a triangle. This is a triangle. Why I'm saying it's a triangle? Because I have filled the gap in between them. So when we see the things we have learned previously, there are some kind of gaps in between them. We say that this is a whole figure. We don't consider that gap. We are not going to give another shape or meaning to this diagram, that this is something else. Actually, this is a triangle. So we are saying it, this is a triangle. We have filled the gap in between them. So the next figure, what it is a human face. So you are saying that, yes, this is a face because you have filled all the gaps in between them. Another is You can see the letter E, small e. So you are giving the meaning that yes, this is E, because there is a small gap in between them. We are not considering that. So our brain is actually programmed in a way that we fill the gaps in between them to perceive the complete forms. Okay, so that principle is a closure principle in Gestalt. Okay, after that, here we come the similarity. Okay, things alike. Okay, here it is. Okay, similarity, things that are alike are perceived together. For example, we can see there are, for example, there are stars in a diagram in front of you, that there are stars because they are perceived together. Few stars are colored, few are not, but we are perceiving it all together that these are stars because they look like stars. So we are not discriminating that these are not colored, these are colored. We are collectively saying that these are stars because they look alike. Yes, there are little shading difference in shading, but we are perceiving it together. Another diagram is there, you can see the squares and circles. But I have said just right now, you can focus on my words. I said circles and squares, that we are perceiving that object as the together. We are not saying that these are small, only a square complete. This is complete a square figure. But what we are saying that yes, this is a square figure having the cross or having circles or squares. So we are things which look alike, we perceive them as together because dots look alike, so we would perceive that these are the circles. Squares look alike, we perceive collectively that these are squares. After that, continuity comes. Seeing continuity in lines that could be interpreted as either continuous or abrupt leaf shifting in direction. Okay, so here it is, continuity. You can see the fourth diagram in front of you, that this is the line and here it shows the continuity. Another is a wave or a zigzag figure like lining. You can see it's going up this, but this is having a continuity, so we consider it this diagram is having a continuity. So the Gestalt principles, the Gestalt says about the similarity. We perceive items which are similar together, and proximity which are closer together. We perceive it as a whole. Then closure is we fulfill the gaps between. Our brain automatically fill the gaps and we give a meaning to a diagram. And continuity is when you are having a continuous or continuity in your figure. Okay, these were the Gestalt principles in which we discussed similarity, proximity, closure, and continuity. Now we are going to see what are the visual constancies. The accurate perception of objects as stable or unchanged despite changes in the sensory patterns they produce. For example, when we are watching to something, we, according to our visual consistency, we will see its shape, we will see its location, we will notice its size, its brightness, and color. Definitely, when you are going to observe an object, your sensations, you are going to use here all of your senses visually, so to give a meaning to an object. Okay, so visual consistency comes like you will identify by using its noticing its shape, location, size, brightness, and color. After that, the perceptual consistencies come. Perceptual and visual consistencies, similarly, how you are perceiving that thing is you are giving the meaning. So these both having the same points and same things you will be noticing in both. If you are going to give the perceptual meaning or if you are going to give a visual meaning, you will definitely notice its size, shape, color, and brightness, constancy. So you will be giving meaning accordingly to that object. Okay, so here we are going to study the depth and distance perception. Binocular cues are those cues in which we use two eyes, in which, for example, what is convergence? Turning inward of eyes which occurs when they focus on a nearby object. When we are going to focus on our nearby object, we turn our eyes inward, or we converge all our eyes, okay, because we are going to focus on a nearby objects. But if an object is far away, we will diverge our eyes. We will open our eyes to expand our eyes or pupil to watch the object which is at distance. So what is retinal disparity? The slight difference in lateral separation between two objects as seen at the right and left eyes. Retinal disparity is actually there is a slight difference between your two objects as you are watching from your right eye and your left eye. Actually, in binocular cues, you require to use both of your eyes to give meaning to that object. Okay, so that is a binocular cues in which you are going to focus. If you are going to focus on a closer object, you will move your eyes inward, or your pupil will be converged to focus on a nearby object, whereas retinal disparity is the slight difference in lateral separation between two objects as seen by the right and left eyes. When you are going to watch by using your two eyes or both eyes, you will be noticing that there will be a slight lateral separation between the two objects. Okay, so I think this is enough for today, because it will be difficult for you to absorb a longer lecture because it will be shorter. You will be easily to understand. So this is all about today. The next we will be covering binocular and monocular cues and theories in detail in our next class. Okay.
Okay, Miss.
So
Okay,
the
Miss.